Please join all the students through your college login only. Okay. Please, and have only one login. Don't attend the lecture by different logins. Then your attendance is not been considered properly. Please log in through the college login only, email address only. So we'll start with today's lecture. Yesterday we have seen what we mean by total differential, total derivative. Then we have also seen what different type of composite functions and partial derivative of composite function. Okay, so if your u was depending on xy and xy was depending on some other variables r and s, say, then the partial derivative of u with respect to r was found with the help of middle variables. Those examples we have done. Now let us go to the last part of third unit, that is derivative of implicit function. So I have already told you what's the meaning of implicit function. Implicit function means that your variables cannot be separated out. Your variables cannot be separated out. What are the variables? Your variables are of the type, for example, f of x comma y is equal to 0 is your function. F of x comma y is equal to 0 is your function. Then f of x comma y is equal to 0 is your function, which cannot be separated out. Means variable of x and y, they cannot be, y cannot be written as a function of x, or x cannot be written as a function of y. Then that particular equation is called as implicit function. And what's the specialty about it? You have to convert this given function to the form f of xy is equal to 0. Right hand side should be 0. Then we can write down the derivative or the total derivative of this function, in which I can differentiate y with respect to x, x with respect to y, and so on. Okay, so let us see how do we write down that formula, and then we will use it to solve the examples. So if suppose you are given the function f of x comma y is equal to 0, which is implicit, that means you cannot separate the variables x and y. For example, your function can be of the type x cube plus y cube minus 3axy is equal to 0. Okay, here variable x and y cannot be separated out. And if you want to find dy by dx, then directly either differentiate this equation, or we will use the formula which is given below. So how do we get that formula? That we will generalize first, and then we'll make use of that to find the for application of it, that is examples we will solve on it. Okay. So if f of xy is equal to 0, if f of x comma y is equal to 0, I'll name it as z. I'll name it as z. So z is depending on xy. And suppose you are asked, find dy by dx. Find dy by dx. That means y is again depending on x. Y is again depending on x. Therefore, using your total derivative, what will be the value of dz by dx? Total derivative formula. Z is the function in xy given by f. So it is delta f by delta x into dx by dx. I am making use of the total derivative formula. I hope everybody is understanding. Yesterday we have done this. Delta f by delta x into dx by dx plus delta f by delta y into dy by dx. Is this clear? Total derivative formula? Everyone? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now,
Yes, ma'am.
with the help of this, we are going to find what is dy by dx. So first of all, let us simplify this ahead. This is delta f by delta x, dx by dx is 1 plus delta f by delta y into dy by dx. Okay. Now let us look at the left hand side. Please listen carefully. Z is equal to f of y, f of xy is equal to 0. That means actually z is equal to 0. So what will be the change of z in terms of x? Is there any change in z if I put z is equal to 0? I'm making use of this function this side, on right hand
No,
side.
ma'am.
So there is no change in z with respect to any variable. So you get dz by dx is 0 since z is equal to 0. I have considered z is equal to 0 on the left hand side. So what you will get now? Minus delta f by delta x is equal to delta f by delta y into dy by dx. And then what is the formula for dy by dx? The formula for dy by dx is nothing but minus delta f by delta x divided by delta f by delta y. And this is the formula which we were talking about. If your function is implicit, If your function is implicit, then the derivative of y with respect to x. What type of function it is? Implicit. Which variables are related? X and y are related. So then dy by dx is given to be equal to minus del by f by del by x upon del by f by del by y. So what are the major things that you should understand? First of all, f of xy should be equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, get all the things given on one side, make it as f of xy is equal to 0. That will be a function f. And then if you want to find dy by dx, it will be equal to minus del by f by del by x upon del by f by del by y. So such type of questions are there in the MCQ that are given you also. So is this part clear to everyone? How do we get dy by dx?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Remembering the formula is also not
Yes,
very
ma'am.
difficult. Yeah, very good. Remembering is also, or writing the formula without keeping in mind or remembering it is also simple. This is dy by dx, and you have to find it with the help of f. So you have to differentiate f. Now who is in the denominator? Dx is in the denominator. So differentiate f with respect to x in the numerator, and dy is in the numerator. So differentiate f with respect to y in the denominator. So that is this is for understanding, okay, or for writing the formula. If you cancel out del by f and del by f, this will become del by y by del by x. So that way also you can try to write down the formula. So dy by dx is equal to minus del by f by del by x upon del by f by del by y. When you are differentiating with respect to x, y will be constant. When you are differentiating with respect to y, f with respect to y, x will be constant. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Now with the help of this, you have to also write down what is the formula d2y by dx here, because that also will be asked in your MCQ. How will you find d2y upon dx square, second order derivative? This is the equation 1. This is the equation 1. So how we are going to find d2y by dx square?
And by differentiating this equation.
Yes, by differentiating the given equation 1 once again with respect to x, isn't it? So for that, what we are going to do is we rename these functions del by x, del by y. We rename them and try to see it, simplify it in a small variable type of equation. So let me rename it. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm writing p is equal to del by x. Q is equal to del by f by del by y. I am writing, I'm saying, we are taking it. So let p be equal to del by f by del by x, q be equal to del by f by del by y, p q r. R be the second order derivative of f with respect to x, del by square f by del by x square, p q r s. S be the mixed partial derivative, del by x by del by y or del by y by del by x. They will be same because these functions will be continuous and differentiable. Otherwise, I cannot write derivative of it. So that's why the mixed derivatives will be same. And p, q, r, s, t. P will be taken as del by square f by del by y square. This assumption or this notation of the derivatives will be used in the next unit also for finding the maxima minima of functions in two variables. We have done maxima minima for functions in one variable, but now we are going to see as an application of partial derivative maxima minima of functions in two variables. That time we are going to use same notation. P will be first order derivative of f with respect to x, q will be f with respect to y, r will be xx, s will be xy or yx, and t will be yy. So this we are going to use. So let's see now how do we get the value of dy by dx. Actually this derivation is not there, directly the formula is there, but still I will give you the derivation also. Now we are going to differentiate dy by dx. We are going to differentiate dy by dx with respect to x one more time. So differentiate equation 1 with respect to x. So what will be the derivative of dy by dx? It will be second order. Dy by dx will become d2y by dx. I'll write this as dy by dx. Can you see this part? Dy by dx is minus p by q. Dy by dx is minus p by q. Is that clear? Dy by dx is minus p by q. So d2y by dx square will be derivative of d by dx of minus p by q. Is this okay? Delta f by delta x is
Yes,
p,
ma'am.
delta f by delta y is q. So d2y by dx square will be derivative of this. Now just see how we are going to do this. This is u by v formula. P is what? Delta f by delta x. F is what? Function in xy. So this derivative will have x as well as y. It may or may
Yes, ma'am.
not, but what is the most general case? It will have both the variables. So suppose if it has only x, then the derivative with respect to y will become 0. If it has only y, then the derivative with respect to x will become 0. But what is the most general way? What is the most general equation that we can get?
We
It
have
can
both
be a
x.
function of x and y both. So we have to take into consideration that. We cannot take only in consideration x because यहाँ पे x है तो आपको लगेगा कि सिर्फ ये x पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं. फंक्शन f जो है दोनों वेरिएबल्स पे डिपेंडेंट है तो दोनों वेरिएबल डेरिवेटिव में भी आ सकते हैं इसलिए we have to take care of both of them. So I have to take p by q. I have to differentiate this by using which rule? Ratio rule. What is the ratio rule? U by v rule. So what is the u by v rule? I'll write it here. Derivative of u by v is nothing but v into derivative of u minus u into derivative of v upon v
V
square.
square.
That's the formula of quotient rule or ratio rule. Okay, u by v rule. That's why now it will become d2y by dx square will become minus sign. I'll write outside because it is minus q by p. So it is q into d3 by dx minus p into dq by dx divided by q square.
Q square.
Is this okay? Everyone?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Q into dp by dx minus p into dq by dx upon q square. But p is again depending on xy. Q is also depending on xy. So what will be dp by dx? This is your total derivative. If I am saying that dp by dx, that means this is again depending on x and this is also depending on x. So I have to make use of total derivative once again. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yes,
what will
ma'am.
be that? This partial derivative of p with respect to x into dx by dx plus partial derivative of p with respect to y into dy by dx. Is this okay? dp by dx total derivative of p with respect to x will be first differentiate x with respect to x dx into dx by dx plus y के अंदर भी x है otherwise there is no meaning to dy by dx. इसलिए उसको भी डिफरेंशिएट करना पड़ेगा विद रिस्पेक्ट टू x. सो प्लस डेल्टा p by delta y into dy by dx. This is the chain rule or you can say the total derivative. Okay, so what will this become? Let me substitute now. P, what is p? Delta by delta x of delta f by delta x. Okay, and into y plus delta by delta y of delta f by delta x into dy by dx. So delta dp by dx is nothing but partial derivative of f with respect to x square plus partial derivative of f with respect to y and x into dy by dx. Now I will convert all of them in terms of p, q, r, s and t. That's why I have named it p, q, r, s and t. What is delta square f by delta x square? Look at that. Which variable is this? It is r.
Yes.
It is r plus. Okay, what we have skipped? Can anybody tell that we are going to do at the end? We are going to
Yes.
substitute afterwards. Yes. Delta square f by delta x square is r plus delta square f by delta x delta y or delta y delta x is s. And what is dy by dx?
P
dy
by
by dx from this is minus p by q. Okay, and that's why this is r minus sp by q. What it is? dp by dx. dp by dx is r minus sp by q. On the same lines, you quickly find out what is dq by dx. Have you finished writing this side? The
Yes,
first
ma'am.
part? Yeah. So I'll just wrap this up. What will be dq by dx by again using total derivative formula? Delta q by delta x into dx by dx plus delta q by delta y into dy by dx. So delta q by delta x means q is delta f by delta y. So that's why this will become delta square f by delta x delta y into 1 plus delta square f by delta y square. I hope this is clear. Q is delta f by delta y, so it is second order derivative of f with respect to y into dy by dx. Substituting again the values of p, q, r, s and t. What is delta square f by delta x delta y? It is s
S.
plus delta square by f by delta y square is t into minus p by q. And therefore this is s minus pt upon q dq by dx. Okay, and therefore what will be d2y by dx square? I have to just substitute now. d2y by dx square is minus sign outside q into dp by dx, which is r minus sp by q minus p into s minus pt by q divided by q square. Simplifying this, take the LCM, this will become, alright, minus sign outside. This is QR into Q. So it is Q square R. Minus this Q I'm going to take down. Minus it will be QSP. Then this also will be S into Q. SQ into P. So minus PSQ. Minus into minus plus P square T. This Q and Q will come down and it will become Q. Is this okay? I have simplified it just by taking the LCM, and therefore your final value of d2y by dx square, which will be asked as a formula, is nothing but d2y by dx square is equal to minus of q square r minus 2pqs pqs plus p square t divided by qt. That's the formula for d2y by dx square, which can also be written in terms of partial derivative as minus of what is q? What was q? pq. Q is delta f by delta y pq rst the whole square into delta square f by delta x square minus 2. All those terms you can write. Minus 2 delta f by delta x, q is delta f by delta y into delta square f by delta x delta y or delta y delta x, both will be same, plus p square, that is delta f by delta x the whole square into t is delta square f by delta y square divided by q, that is delta square f, delta f by delta y the whole cube. That's your formula. So it's quite lengthy, but the formula will be asked. So you should remember this equation: minus q square r minus 2pqs plus p square t upon q. Or you should be quick enough to derive it. Is this okay? And the derivation is never been asked or never been required for you all, but how you get it? This is the application, or you can say this is the derivation obtained from all the things that you have learned in partial derivatives at the end. What are those? Plain partial derivatives delta f by delta x that you are finding. You are making use of total derivative formula. You are making use of composite function formula. Are you getting it? Only thing is we are not making use of Euler theorem. Variable treated as constant is also been done and used here because when you are differentiating f with respect to x, y is constant and so on. So that's why this formula derivation I have taken so that entire all the things are being revised. Total derivative formula is revised, chain rule is revised, there is composite functions, and then normal partial derivatives are also involved. That's why I took the derivative, but for you all, the things which will be asked in the examination is what is the formula of d2y by dx square and what is the formula for dy by dx. So let me just rewrite it. Dy by dx is minus dy by delta x divided by dy by delta y. if f of x comma y is 0. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
तो
If you
conclusion है
हाँ बोलो ना, I can't hear you. Your voice is small.
हेलो
I
मैम.
can't. Just a second now.
ओके मैम.
हाँ बोलो.
मैम ये जो dy by
Yeah.
dx वाला क्वेश्चन हमें एक एमसीक्यू में था, सो आई यूज्ड डिफरेंशियल वाला फॉर्मूला, डेरिवेटिव वाला नहीं, so I got the same thing.
Which one? Which one?
मैम आपने वो एक टोटल डिफरेंशियल और एक टोटल डेरिवेटिव दिया था, तो आपने अभी टोटल डेरिवेटिव से प्रूव किया एंड आई डिड इट फ्रॉम टोटल डिफरेंशियल.
Not a problem, because if you write df, okay, if you write df, then with reference to what you are changing, that is not going to be used. At the end, you will have to write by dx, na?
यस मैम, वो
Yeah, you can do that. Cramer's rule से किया क्या? डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन पहले लिखा, मतलब टोटल डिफरेंशियल लिखा, फिर उसको सॉल्व करते समय dx by dy वगैरह, after you got an equation, you divided that dx by dy or dy by dx, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can do that, not a problem. I'll try to see whether if it is possible, I'll do one example from that way also. And that, but actually that is been useful when there are two functions, na, it becomes quick to solve, and then we use Cramer's rule. So I'll tell you that also. You can use total differential, and at the end you can divide it by the given asked variable. जिसके साथ differentiate करना है वो last में भी लिख सकते हो. It's one and the same thing. Okay? Yeah, not a problem. Correct. So if suppose you have understood this and your function is f of x comma y is equal to 0, what is dx by dy? Because they may ask you any formula. What will be dx by dy?
minus
x by y.
Del by del by
Minus
y.
Dy by
x.
Very good. Suppose your function is phi of x comma z is equal to 0. What will be dz by dx?
Deba f upon
Minus
Del by x upon del by x by del by z.
Is this clear? So if you have understood once the formula of dy by dx, all the rest formulas are very simple to write, only depending on the number of variables. If there are 3 variables, then they will mention that the third one has to be taken as constant. So you'll have to write again the formula in this way. Okay? So these two formulas which are there, dy by dx formula and dy by dx square formula in terms of PQRST or in terms of partial derivatives, they will be asked directly for 1 mark, and the examples like what I'm going to take next will be asked for. Again, it will be asked for 1 mark only, but there will be some, at least you have to solve it, 2 to 3 lines will be required. So these two formulas, and then depending on that, the questions will be there. So let me take the questions now. Okay, so should I have this on part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take down the first question now. If cos x raised to y, if cos x raised to y is equal to sin y raised to x, if cos x raised to y is equal to sin y raised to x, find dy by dx. Find dy by dx. Now from the question it is clear that y is depending on x. But how it is depending, can you separate out? Just look at the question. Cos x raised to y is equal to sin y raised to x. You will take log and then x and y will come down. But then can you directly write y is equal to some function of x?
No, ma'am.
Inverse and all, it will become very complicated. So what we are going to do, using this entire equation, we are going to simplify and write it in the form f of x comma y is equal to 0. So let us do that. Okay. So first take log on both sides. Taking log on both sides, what we will get? Y log of cos x is equal to x log of sin y. That is y log of cos x minus x log of sin y is equal to 0. So this is the function f of x comma y. y log of cos x minus x log of sin y is a function f of x. Is this okay? And therefore, write down the formula of dy by dx, which is minus del by x by del by x divided by del by x by del by x. Minus del by x by del by x divided by del by x by del by x. And then write down the formula, find the partial derivative and write down the answer. That will be your final answer, which will be there in the answer. So minus of del by x by del by x. This entire function you have to differentiate with respect to x. What do you mean by partial derivative? Here y will be constant and here x will be constant. So derivative of this with respect to x, y remains as it is. Log cos x derivative is 1 upon cos x into derivative of cos x, that is minus sin x. Okay? Minus log sin y is constant because y is constant. X ka derivative with respect to x is 1. So log of sin y divided by derivative of f with respect to y. तो y यहाँ पे power 1 है तो उसका derivative 1 into log of cos x as it is because that's the constant minus x as it is. Derivative of log sin y is 1 by sin y into derivative of sin is cos y. So simplify it and write down the answer. That will be your final value. Okay. So dy by dx therefore turns out to be dy by dx. That's why it turns out to be minus is outside. Let that be as it is. This minus is for the entire bracket. So you have to mention that. So minus is outside. So minus y tan x minus log of sin y divided by log of cos x and minus x cot 1. Cos by sin is cot. So taking that minus outside common, the answer is y tan x minus log plus sin y, because minus of minus is plus, divided by log of cos x minus x cot y. So this will be present in your option, dy by dx. So you will have to do 2 to 3 steps and you will get this answer. Okay? Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You try now another example that I am giving you next. Again, I will give you some simple example only. If x raised to y plus y raised to x is equal to a raised to b, find dy by dx. Everyone please do it and write the answer in the chat box. X raised to y plus y raised to x is a raised to b, then find dy by dx. X raised to y plus y raised to x is equal to a raised to b, find dy by dx. This part which I am taking is very important from MCQ point of view, because the questions which are there are small. Try to solve it. Just what you are going to do? How you are going to start solving it? How will you tackle the example?
I'm taking a raised to b left side
Very good.
and using the formula and direct.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's the method of going through the example. Take that a raised to b on left hand side because you want the function to be equal to 0, and then directly differentiate because you know the formula of x raised to 5 derivative, x raised to y derivative, and y raised to x derivative. That's it. Correct. So your solution will be f of xy is x raised to y plus y raised to x minus a raised to b is equal to 0, and then your formula of dy by dx is nothing but minus del by x by del by x divided by del by x by del. Everyone please write the answer in chat box if you are getting it. If you are not getting it, you ask me. You have to basically differentiate the function with respect to x. x raised to y का डेरिवेटिव क्या होगा वो आपको लिखना है. y raised to x का डेरिवेटिव क्या होगा वो आपको लिखना है. a और b कांस्टेंट है. The derivatives of constant will be 0. And then differentiate the same function with respect to y. a raised to b derivative will be 0. Derivative of, you're telling me the derivative of x raised to y, na? That is correct. Y x raised to y minus 1 plus how come it is y, Tharva? Y raised to x is the...
No, by mistake, I put the half answer.
Okay. Yeah, so it is y into y raised to x into log of y. Y raised to x is of the type a raised to x. When you're differentiating it with respect to x, y is constant and power is x. Fine. This is the final answer that everyone has written. Let me check. Only few students have tried to solve it. Log x, log y terms will be there. Please don't do some silly mistakes. You have to be careful. Y raised to x is depending on x. So y raised to x का derivative क्या होता है? Y raised to x log y. Okay. With respect to x, and what is the derivative of this function with respect to y? X raised to y का x raised to y to log x. So log x log y के terms रहेंगे. They won't become 0 or they won't be cancelling out. So you will have those terms. So let me just tell you what is the answer. Del y by del x. Derivative of this with respect to x is numerator. I am telling you y x raised to y minus 1. Y x raised to y minus 1 because it is of the type variable raised to constant. So constant into variable raised to constant minus 1 plus y raised to x log y, and derivative of a raised to b is 0 divided by derivative of the same function with respect to y. So x raised to y log of x, because x is constant, y is the variable, and here it will be plus x raised to x into y raised to x minus 1. That's your answer. So log term will be there. Few students have got the answer. Y x raised to y minus 1 plus x raised to y log y divided by x raised to y log x plus, correct. That's the answer. Is it okay, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these are the two lines equations or problems that can be asked. Now sometimes there are some theoretical questions also that can be asked on derivative of implicit functions. So take those type of questions also. Take down the first one. If f of x comma y is equal to 0, if f of x comma y is equal to 0, comma, if f of x comma y is equal to 0, comma, phi of x comma y is equal to 0, f of x comma y is equal to 0, comma, phi of x, sorry, phi of y comma z, I suppose, phi of y comma z is equal to 0, then what is dz by dx? What is dz by dx? This is asked. So the formula is asked. If f of x comma y is 0 and phi of y comma z is 0, then what will be dz by dx? So are you having any function directly which relates z and x?
No, ma'am.
No. So what you have to do?
We have to go to from implicit function that we learned in class 12th, I guess.
Implicit function का क्या करोगे आप? What you have to do?
I'm sorry, the chain rule. Like we will find first
Right.
dy by dx, then dz by dy.
Very good. That's the thing. Very good. If you understand the concept and applying it is very simple. We want dz by dx. I don't have any function which is relating z and x directly, so I cannot write down the formula directly. But I know that y is related to x, and then ultimately y is related to z also. So chain rule can be applied here. So if from first equation f of x comma y is equal to 0, if I make use of the implicit formula for dy by dx, what will be the formula for dy by dx? Minus del by del x divided by del by del y. And using the function phi of y comma z is equal to 0, we are going to get dz by dy. Why I am writing dz by dy? Because I want z in the numerator. So dz by dy into dy by dx, dy will get cancelled and we will get dz by dx. What will be the formula, implicit formula for dz by dy? Minus del by phi by del by y.
Minus del by phi by del by z.
Very good, del by phi by del by z. And therefore, dz by dx, which is the chain of dy by dx into dz by dy. That will become minus partial derivative of dy by dx is kept. Del by f by del x upon del by f by del y into minus del by phi by del y divided by del by phi by del by z. So minus minus cancels and therefore your answer of dz by dx is nothing but del by phi, del by f by del by x into del by phi by del by y divided by del by f by del by y into del by phi by del by. This is multiplication. Here we are not operating. This is pure multiplication. Is this okay? So this option will be there in ABCD. You have to check the variables properly. Yeah? Phi, f, x, y, z, y, all those. So that is one of the question. One more question is there, that also I'll take, and then we'll go to the unit number 4. We'll start with unit number 4. Take down the last question of this. That is, if phi of x, y, z is equal to 0. Phi of x, y, z is equal to 0. Then find the value of, or then prove that del by z by del by y, taking x constant, into del by x by del by z, taking y constant, into del by y by del by x, taking z constant, is equal to minus 1. Actually, in your MCQ, they'll ask you what's the value. The value here is minus 1. So you are having now one function which is relating all 3 variables, and you have to get those partial derivatives. What will be this partial derivatives when I am telling you that x is constant? That means z is depending only on y.
Y function, ma'am.
So yes, it will become dz by dy. Are you getting it? Because they have mentioned clearly x is constant. Even if phi of x, y, z is equal to 0, you will use this formula. Del by z by del by y, taking x constant, is actually dz by dy. Because x is constant. And what is the formula for dz by dy? If your explicit formula is phi of x, y, z is equal to 0, it is minus del by phi divided by del by y divided by del by phi by del by z. Is this clear? Very simple it is. Only thing you don't understand what to use. So when I am given that x is constant, that means these two are depending on each other. Directly I make use of the formula for implicit function and write down in terms of minus del by phi by del by y upon del by phi by del by z. I have to make use of phi function. On the same lines, del by x by del by z, taking y constant, will be dx by dz, and that is minus del by phi by del by z divided by del by phi by del by x. And finally, partial derivative of y with respect to x, taking z constant, is same as dy by dx, which is minus del by phi by del by x divided by del by phi by del by y. And you see that del by phi by del by y is in the numerator, this is in the denominator, it cancels. This is in the denominator, this is in the numerator, cancels. Phi with respect to x is numerator, this is in the denominator, and therefore the answer will be 1 minus 1 minus 1 minus 1, which is equal to, therefore the expected answer is 1 into 2 into 3, that is minus 1. All the terms are getting cancelled. What is the speciality about this example? Actually, if you have partial derivatives, directly look at the expression which is given, they are cancelling out if they are ordinary derivatives. But when I am writing it as partial derivative, we have, and that too the function is related by explicit equation, not implicit. If it was implicit, directly we would have got the answer to be plus 1. समझते का? Difference समझते का?
Yes, ma'am.
All of them would have got cancelled. The way here they got cancelled, dy by. Okay? This relation between delta and d is happening because of implicit function. And then we are getting the formula. I'm not just writing dz by dy, just dz by dy. We are making use of phi. And that's why the answer is turning out to be minus 1. In general, if it was ordinary derivative, the answer would have turned out to be plus 1. Okay? So this is all about partial derivatives unit. Let me just revise in short what we have done in the entire unit. First, we have seen the partial. What is the meaning of partial derivative? this will be useful for you in your entire engineering, okay, because it is quite important which type of differentiation you are going to use. In engineering, you are going to definitely come across rate at which a particular thing is changing. So differentials will be there. Maybe it will be like depending to time, or it will be depending to some other variables. But derivatives, rate at which it is changing, you'll definitely come across. So partial derivatives, ordinary derivatives are important. Now, what will be your main task to identify whether you are going to use ordinary derivatives or partial derivatives. Ahead in your lectures also, in your different subjects also, they will ask you for mechanical, civil, there is SOM, TOM, the subjects are there. There you make lot of use of thermodynamics is also there. You make use of partial derivatives. For remaining ENTC computer and computer science students, you have M3 as well as you have discrete mathematics for I think so computers, and system and signal and system for ENTC. There also you are going to come across partial derivative, integration, differentiation. So what will be your main task there? You have to identify whether you are going to use partial derivatives or ordinary derivatives. Where you are going to use ordinary derivative? If there is only one independent variable. If there is only one independent variable, means y is depending only on x. That time you are going to use ordinary derivative. But if y is depending on x and z, then you will come across partial derivatives. When you want to change y, whether you are going to change it with respect to x or you are going to change it with respect to z, that question will arise, and that's why you have to differentiate it partial. If you are differentiating y with respect to x, z will be constant, and if you are differentiating y with respect to z, x will be constant. Okay, so that's the first thing. After that, we have seen the mixed partial derivatives. When they will be same, if your function is continuous, and the partial derivatives are also continuous, then the mixed derivatives are always equal. We also saw if a particular equation is given in which there is an unknown or a power is required, how many times this function has to be raised power so that the given differential equation will be satisfied. That is called finding the value of unknowns. Then we have also done partial differentiation of implicit function where the equations were quite simple. We didn't have to use the total derivative formula. Directly we differentiated the equation and we got the values of deva z by deva x or deva z by deva y. We got the values of partial derivatives, not ordinary derivative. Whenever I want ordinary derivative for an implicit function, we have to make use of this formula. Okay. After that, we did variable treated as constant. Now, the basic difference between this variable treated as constant and the remaining ones is you will be given all equations, maybe implicit or explicit. The relations won't be direct. You have to eliminate variables and get the relation between the expected variables. If you are asked deva u by deva x taking y constant, the relation should be only in terms of u, x and y. No other variable should be there. When I'm saying partial derivative of u with respect to x taking y constant, I should have the relation only between u, x and y. No v term should be there. It should be eliminated. If you are asked find the derivative of x with respect to theta taking u constant, the relation should be between only x, u and theta. Even if there is one more or two more variables, those variables should not be there in your equation. So eliminating those variables, you have to differentiate. That is variable treated as constant. After that, we did Euler's theorem. Now, this Euler's theorem is very simple and very important because you actually don't have to find any partial derivative, but your function should be homogeneous. What do you mean by homogeneous? Degree of each of the terms should be equal. Numerator by denominator formula is there, then numerator all the degrees should be same, denominator all the degrees should be same, then the entire function is of the degree of the numerator minus degree of the denominator. And then you get the formulas of x ux plus y uy, which is nu if your function u is homogeneous, and second order Euler theorem is n into n minus 1. If f of u is homogeneous, that means we have function of function, inside function is not of degree 0, then the outside function should be taken on left hand side and you will get that f of u is homogeneous. If f of u is homogeneous, x ux plus y uy turns out to be n into f of u by f dash of u, and second order differential equation turns out to be g of u into g dash of u minus 1. Who will tell me what is g of u?
minus
n f of u upon f dash of u.
Very good. N f of u upon f dash of u is the value of g of u. Differentiate g of u with respect to which variable? Other than these 4, 5, 6 students who generally tell me the answer. Siddhant, roll number 5, division C, can you tell me? Are you present? Siddhant Bedse? No. Aman Pandey, you are there? Aman Pandey? No. Bhavesh Pandey, you are there? Bhavesh, you are there? The students who are not going to respond will be marked absent. Huh? Bhavesh, are you there? Ayushi, you are there? Shreya Bhalerao, you are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What you are going to differentiate? G dash of u. What's the meaning of G dash of u? Siddhant, you can write in the chat box also your answer if your mic is not working. G dash of u means what? Simple. Don't get scared. As if I have asked some very difficult question. What do you mean by G dash of u? G power dash of u. क्या कर रहे हैं? G dash मतलब क्या होता है? डिफरेंशिएशन करना होता है ना? डेरिवेटिव लेना होता है. G dash मतलब क्या होता है? डेरिवेटिव ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So how you are going to get with respect to which variable you are going to differentiate? Suppose g of u is tan of u. तो उसका डेरिवेटिव क्या लिखते हो आप? Don't get scared. You tell me if you are wrong. It's okay. You try to apply whatever you know. G dash of u मतलब tan u का डेरिवेटिव. Tan u का डेरिवेटिव क्या होता है? What's the formula? Roll number 12, division C. No response, that means you are not attending the lectures properly, okay? Obviously, it will be difficult for you all only to do. It's not my dependency, it should be your dependency. If you are going to copy, definitely it will pay off. आपको ही difficulty होगी. Exam में वही questions नहीं आते. What is derivative of tan u? Shreya, you left. हाँ, sec square u. Derivative of tan u is sec square u and the derivative is with respect to u. तो फिर से अगर आपको derivative लेना है u का, तो u derivative with respect to u is 1. So derivative of tan u is equal to sec square u और g dash of u का मतलब क्या होता है? Differentiate the given function with respect to u. अगर आपको लिखा होता है du by dx, तो आप क्या करते हो? Differentiate with respect to x करते हो. लेकिन यहाँ पे d by dx of g ऐसे नहीं लिखा है, g dash of u लिखा है. That means you have to differentiate g with respect to u only. So tan u derivative is sec square u. Is that okay? Is that clear, Shreya, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So g dash of u minus 1, g of u into g dash of u minus 1, that's your final answer. So I can see that many students are just simply attending the lecture. I think so according to the attendance they are not understanding. तो एग्जाम्पल जो ले रहे हैं वो सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर वही क्वेश्चन पूछा ओरली तो नहीं करेंगे. नेक्स्ट वीक वी आर गोइंग टू टेक योर मॉक ओरल वाइवा व्हिच हैज 5 मार्क्स फॉर कम्युनिकेशन. सो प्लीज प्रिपेयर फॉर वाइवा and basic things only we are going to ask. What is this formula? What do you mean by g dash of u? How do we get the derivatives? When I'm saying differentiate with respect to x, so which are the variables which will be considered and which are the constants we are going to consider? So conceptual viva will be there, and please don't just simply keep on solving the questions. वही questions पूछेंगे एग्जाम में भी, ऐसे नहीं है. You should understand what you are doing. Is it okay? Fine. So that was Euler's theorem. After that we did composite function. So composite function में variable u will be depending on xy, xy will be depending on rs. तो u से हमें r तक जाना है, तो we are going to use chain rule. So what will be the chains? Those will be asked. So del by u by del by r. कहाँ से u से r कैसे जा सकते हैं? Go from u to x first, x to r. Then go from u to y and y to r. So that will give you the chain rule. Okay. After that we did total derivative, wherein your function, if it is f of xy is equal to 0, then what will be the total, or f of xyz is equal to 0, then what will be your total derivative? Df will be differential. Total differential will be df is equal to del by f by del by x into dx by dx. प्लस by dx नहीं रहेगा क्योंकि डिफरेंशियल है, तो df will be del by f by del by x into dx plus del by f by del by into dy plus del by f by del by z into dz. अगर डेरिवेटिव पूछा है तो what it will be, df by dx will be del by f by del by x into dx by dx plus del by f by del by into dy by dx plus del by f by del by z into dz by dx. Is this okay? Total differential or total derivative. उसमें what's the use? We are going to make use to find the errors in the final function if there are errors in the respective variables where the dependency is there. So such type of examples direct questions नहीं रहेंगे, applications वाले question रहेंगे वाला. Okay, and then finally we did derivatives of implicit function. So that is your entire third unit, and the questions which will be there in our MCQ, I have sent you the list also. 26th is the last day to submit your tutorial 3, which you have to write on your assignment sheets. Submit both the question sets. I have given 18 questions in one question bank and 29 in other. Both of them you have to submit it together only. Today I will give you the CO. I'll write down the CO here, share the CO with you, and you know how to completely write it. You have understood that in the beginning you will have to write the way we have written it in the earlier COs. Okay, so that's about unit number 3. Now unit number 4 is actually the application of partial derivatives. So that the first thing that we are going to start is Jacobian. So Jacobian of functions or Jacobian of variables. What do we mean by that? I'll just give you the definition. Then we'll stop. Tomorrow in the lecture we will complete that Jacobian and then the other applications also. So let me just start with what is the meaning of Jacobian.
Ma'am, we are finding errors also, no?
Yes. That's there in the unit number 6 as an application of partial derivative. We are going to also see maxima, minima of more than one variable. You have done maxima, minima of single variable. If y is equal to f of x, then how do you find maxima, minima? You differentiate it with respect to x, equate it to 0, you get the stationary points. Then second order derivative you find, if it is greater than 0 it is minima, if it is less than 0 maxima. Same type of concept will be extended to two variables, that is also application of partial derivative. Then we are going to also see errors, I told you, means also see functional dependency. We will also see partial derivatives to find with the help of Jacobian. Okay, so let me just tell you what is the meaning of Jacobian. You will be given u as a function of xy, and you will be given v also as a function of xy, where this u and v are continuous as well as differentiable. ये दोनों functions u v जो है phi1 and phi2, they will be continuous and differentiable. Okay, then the Jacobian of u v with respect to xy is denoted as deriva of u v upon deriva of xy. Change in u v with respect to change in xy. Okay, I'll tell you where we are going to use this. Change in u v with respect to xy, and that the formula is defined as, the definition is change u with respect to x, change u with respect to y, change v with respect to x, and change v with respect to y. The determinant of this will be the change of u v with respect to xy. What happens? Why? Where we are going to make use of this? Okay, when you want to do integration of two variables, that is double integration, triple integration. Okay, that time we have to transform some variables. The integration becomes difficult in one variable u v. जैसे आप single dimension में आप लोगों ने किया था x और y में, sometimes you have to substitute polar coordinates and get the answer. Okay, same way it will become difficult to get the integration of u with respect to v. uv, double integration like this, double integration du dv, it becomes difficult. But if I transform the variable uv to xy, then the integration becomes easy. So for that I have to make use of transformation. Change uv variable to xy. So du dv, can I directly write it as dx dy? ऐसे लिख सकते हैं क्या? du dv is equal to integration dx dy. ये कब लिख सकते हैं? If u is equal to x and v is equal to y. So du will be dx, dv will be dy, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, but it is not given like this. It is some function of xy, u, and v is also some function of xy. So I directly cannot write du dv as integration of double integration dx dy. So there will be a factor which will be called as Jacobian. And what is that Jacobian? Transform UV with xy. Transform UV in terms of xy, which will consider change of u with respect to x, change of u with respect to y, v with respect to x, and v with respect to y. Now this term should be a number. So what is the best way? It was found, take the determinant and then get the value. That will be the change transformation constant or variable which will be present, and then this will definitely be, most probably it will be a variable. If it is turning out to be a constant, that means the remaining terms are becoming cancelling out. So J will be appearing as a transformation change of uv to xy, and then double integration du dv will become J dx dy. Is this okay? So that's why we are studying Jacobian. In M2 we are going to see double integration, triple integration. There we have to do the transformations, and we will be making use of this. So I'll ask you in M2, and that time you should tell me that we have done this in M1 and the use of it is here. Okay? So what is Jacobian? Yeah.
You are telling that Jacobian will be a number, but for the condition of double differentiation,
Yeah.
u is equal to x. But when the functions, they can be of different powers, no?
Constant in the sense, finally it may be a number or it will be depending on xy. Even if it depends on xy, since I'm integrating with respect to x and y, the limits of x and y will be present in the integration. That will give you the final answer as constant MC.
Okay.
Okay. This, if it is a single number, say for example, sometimes this value can turn out to be 3 because your equations only u and v will be like, for example, 2x minus 3y, 4x plus 3y. Single power 1, linear equation. Then what will be the derivatives? They will be constant. Na?
Yes.
And here also du dv will be directly related. If it is 3x, so what will be du? 3, na? That we can get directly. So that time j will be constant. But the more generalized will be, it will be variable. But it can be constant also. Are you getting it? Finally, after doing the integration, I should get area under the curve in some units, square units. That will be a number, and that is obtained even if j is variable function. The limits will be making it a fixed constant. Okay.
If j is 0,
Okay.
then what does it like mean?
Can j be 0? Tell me that first of all. If j is 0, good question, very good question, because that's the next point or one of the topic in this unit. If j is 0, that means they are cancelling out each other, the derivatives. That means they are depending on each other. U and v are functionally dependent. Are you getting it?
Yes, I didn't get this.
See, when you get the derivative to be equal to 0, this derivative equal to 0, so what is the reason? This into this minus this into this is 0.
Huh.
So there will be multiples of each other. That's one thing. Or when is the determinant of any matrix 0?
When the
If,
function is
one
constant.
row-
Similar terms are there in same.
When the function is constant, you can constant, obviously all the terms will be 0. So either u and v are constant, they are not depending on xy. That case is removed. Correct?
Huh.
Second thing, what you are saying?
And one row will zero.
One of the terms.
One of the row will be
one
0. One of the row is 0, then one of the function is only 0. So I have only be left with x and y. So there is no need to think about dx, du at all. Only think about what is dv. So it will be single variable integration, and double integration will become single integration. So that case is also not very important. We have seen how to do single integrations, isn't it? What is more important, if both of them are non-zero, still the determinant is 0, that means first row and second row are almost same or rather same, multiples of each other, not equal. Do you know this property of determinant?
Yes, yes.
Determinant is 0 if the either of the two rows or two columns are equal or multiples of each other.
Yes, ma'am.
So if the derivatives are multiple of each other, that means they have some dependency.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So that topic is called as the functional dependency of the variable, this u and v. If they are depending on each other, again du dv, v can be converted in terms of u and it will become single integration, and we get the answer directly.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
This question when you are asking, I'm liking it because you are thinking about the next topic which we are going to study. If it becomes 0, then what? Yes, if it becomes 0, then they are depending on each other. If they are depending on each other, two variables can be converted to single variable, and double integration will become single integration. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So we'll do this in detail. You just write down this formula for 2 variables, for 3 variables, and so on. We'll write down in the next class. Okay. That is tomorrow. Yeah. Yes.
Can you
Yes.
repeat
Please.
just once Jacobian value?
Yes. If Jacobian value is this will be partial derivative of u with respect to x, u with respect to y, v with respect to x, v with respect to y. I'll have some derivatives. We will do the calculation and we get some answer. It may be constant or it may be function of x. But what is the use of it? Basically, I want to transform uv variable to xy. Why I want to do that? In double integration, sometimes direct integration of uv, the function is such that it will become difficult. For example, if you have say u square plus v square upon u square plus v square raised to 3 by 2, such type of function is there. Is the integration simple of this? Denominator you have function u by v will है क्या कोई integration के लिए?
No, ma'am.
No. So it becomes difficult. Then I transform it to polar coordinates. U is equal to r cos theta, v is equal to r sin theta. So u square plus v square की वैल्यू क्या हो जाती है? R square.
Yes.
So the denominator which was u square plus v square raised to 3 by 2 will become r square raised to 3 by 2, and it will be a single variable.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So the integration becomes simple. So it is very important to convert or to transform the variables. तो वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करने के लिए डायरेक्ट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कर सकते हैं क्या? अगर u is x then du is dx, अगर v is y then dv is dy. लेकिन वो अगर होता है तो ये इंटीग्रेशन और वो इंटीग्रेशन सेम हो जाएगा. There is no difference. That means u and v will be some functions of x y, not direct function only of x or only of y. तो उसमें ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कैसे करेंगे? With the help of Jacobian. What Jacobian says, don't consider only the change in u with respect to one variable. Consider the change with respect to both the variables, and then take a determinant to get some value. That change will be used here in the integration to get the reflection of transformation from uv to xy, and then you will get the final answer. So the area exactly covered under that curve will be given. Is this okay?
मैम ये वाला स्टेप du dv double integration is equal to double integration of dx dy.
बोलो फिर से बोलो, नहीं आया मुझे.
Double integration of du dv is equal to double integration of Jacobian into dx dy.
हाँ.
ये वाला स्टेप कैसे डिराइव हुआ?
See, I want to change uv in terms of xy. मतलब वेरिएबल अभी मैंने बोला ना, जो ये इंटीग्रेशन अगर डिफिकल्ट रहा तो उसको मुझे चेंज करना पड़ेगा नए वेरिएबल्स में जहाँ पे वो इंटीग्रेशन सिंपल हो जाएगा. फॉर एग्जांपल योर पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट्स, when you are having u square plus v square type of thing, then if you put u is equal to r cos theta and v is equal to r sin theta, u square plus v square की वैल्यू हो जाती है r square. So it becomes a single variable, and this dx dy also will become dr and d theta. चेंज ऑफ वेरिएबल्स हो रहे हैं, तो चेंज ऑफ वेरिएबल से ये जो फंक्शन रहेगा यहाँ पे फंक्शन भी हो सकता है फॉर uv, वो भी सिंपल हो जाएगा. एंड आई एम ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग uv, आई डायरेक्टली कैन नॉट ट्रांसफॉर्म uv टू dx dy. क्यों? क्योंकि वो वेरिएबल्स डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड नहीं है, कुछ अलग फंक्शन से रिलेटेड है. So that's why we have to take care about the transformation of the variables uv with respect to xy. Your next teachers are waiting already. That's why we will see this in the next lecture. And in M2 we are going to definitely see this entire multiple integration, double integration, triple integration. We are